Ladies, welcome to this video. It's the first time you probably see this location. I just got pretty crazy news. A guy, like, this is my grandma house, right? Like, she used to live here, and obviously it's our house now. And we used to rent it to a tenant, and they left. And then I said, why don't I just take it like to work, and also to, we're thinking about whether we're gonna rent it short term or whatever, but why don't I just use it to work, like a little office, and this way I can just change. Sometimes I like to change around. And was talking to Dori before she just note. She's like, look at behind you. It's like, it talks about chocolate, and talk about coffee with a whipped cream. There is beer. I don't know if it's the best background, but I was like, you can even make videos in here. It's actually pretty cool. A real like green screen. And I was thinking I was gonna use just this to make support call and so forth. But let me know if you're watching here live. It's quite exciting. It's the office hour. So if you want to jump in on Zoom, what I'm doing here on the comment box, I'm giving the Zoom here. And you can totally jump into Zoom. Before I'm going to present real quick a few things, and then we can take care of something you have and something else if you need, like if you're in the program, or also if you're not in the program, just as me, maybe to be able to give you some value and some help. But the link you want to be joining is this, if you want to just come live on Zoom and to say hi and to hang out a little bit. But today I have like a little bit of a kicker. I was talking, I had my team call with Dori before, and we're talking about how everybody's doing, how we can make life easier for all the clients, how we can give them better support as always. And then, of course, we talk about the big thing that we're doing, very shortly, which is going to be the masterclass. And as you saw, there is a poll so far. The perfect workout for your body genetics for ladies over 40 in less than 2 hours per week is winning. Very closely is the fat loss over 40 without content calorie, diet and pills. Those will be probably, as we speak, the first two masterclass. The first one obviously will be the one to win. I'm telling you, those things, I just explained part one of them to Dori, and she was like, wow, that's like pretty enlightening in like like an hour or less. How does the metabolism work over 40? Why do things happen? Why do diet fail? And so forth. And therefore, if you want a small little, look into what we did, and I'm just done this is Safari. And like one thing that we actually talked about, this is just a look at just the pathway of somebody, and like what are the important things, what are the root cause, and like and all that is very small, but like we're gonna go into depth into all the master classes as well. But today we're talking about tracking for a second. I just wanted to briefly talking about tracking food, which is basically one method to establish a calorie deficit, which by nature, you've been told that this is what you need to do to lose weight. Well, if one thing you need to do is not the only thing. Calorie tracking is level 2 into our program. Intuitive eating will be level 1 into our program. It's not like necessarily one goes against the other, but it's like one thing framework that you can move back and forth. This is like our foundational website thing. By the way, this also is available as a course if you're not in our program and you just want access to this. Obviously there is a fee for it, but you can just reach out and let me know if you just want to have the website. Intuitive eating obviously is this, and nutritional tracking is this. Our app that we have as the program connects with MyFitnessPal. So by nature, obviously we would advise people to move on with MyFitnessPal, but Dori was asking me about how to kind of like teach people how to revert back to tracking at some point, and then intuitive eating. And obviously we'll go that into another video of masterclass, which is like a little bit more detailed work. But today I wanted just to review briefly, if you are in a program, we're using MyFitnessPal, but if you're not in a program, what are the app that you should use, or what is the app that you can use, right? I'm going to review a few. I'm going to review Chronometer. I'm going to review MyFitnessPal. and I'm going to review the one that I used to usually personally work myself, which is Lose It, right? And again, it's just preference, obviously. The thing that you need to know about tracking the food, right? Much like the website says here, it's not about the tracking the food that is the problem. It's about that how to make sure that you're actually tracking correctly, right? If you're tracking wrongly, this is the biggest mistakes that you would make in tracking the food. Obviously, it's hard for you to be able to feel like, meaning like it's hard for you to see results if you have a calorie deficit of 500 calorie and you're tracking the food and you're messing up 200 calorie. Chances are you're not even gonna see any results because 200 calorie at the time is not nearly as close as enough for you to see any results long term, and therefore, like you would basically lose motivation before. But what are the tools and what would you choose? I would just go from, and again, I'm going to share my screen again. You have to see the positive and negatives about all of them. And actually, we have chronometer that I was actually hearing here what they have to say. And let's go it together. Let's review it together. It's free to sign up, so that's one good thing.
The eating habits that make your body thrive. The Chronometer app lets you easily track your nutrition, helping you live a healthier, happier life.
One thing that this free version has that most like Lose It and MyFitnessPal doesn't have is the ability for you to see magnesium, calcium, so micronutrient, so it's the nutrient that you need kind of like the less of, yet it's still important. And I see this from the bed that they are advertising this for a free version. So like you don't have to pay anything.
Devices and other apps to effortlessly track exercise. Our device integration automatically feeds fitness data into your Chronometer account.
Yeah, if it did that automatically, that's actually pretty advantageous. So that's a good thing.
Scroll through granular details on your vitamin and mineral intake, identifying deficiencies in things like fiber, magnesium, and omega-3. With our app, you can trust that the data you're seeing is accurate. Our nutrition information is pulled from lab-analyzed sources or verified by a staff member.
Yeah, so this is false. There is no way for somebody to say with our device, you're basically going to track accurately. It depends on the person. If you track something wrongly, you still have a banana. You still can have a banana which is totally black with more potassium. You can still have a banana which is more mature with less potassium. So there is no way for one device to be able to tell you accurate data. So that's one thing to point out. The other thing that you want to be paying attention to is like, but you do want to all this app, by the way, that's include MyFitnessPal and the other one, the output is always going to be very, very personalized. If I start running today and I never run before and I have a 90 kilo and some of them is muscle mass, some of them is fat versus somebody that is 90 kilo and is like 10% fat and he runs all the time, is going to have a much more efficient fuel efficiency. So if you put this on an app, it's always going to tell you, let's say 30 minutes of run, 300, 500 calories. If you're 90 kilos, it's going to tell you something like 600, 700. If you are 80 kilos, it's going to tell you something like 300. But the problem is that the 300 of somebody that is efficient is only going to be at this point probably less than 300 because your body gets accustomed to that. So it's true, you could do an hour on the amount that somebody would do 30 minutes, but still, it's very mismatched. So you see how white tracking, if you want to call it, sometimes fail. But again, we're going to talk inside the masterclass, whiting never fails. They only fail because of psychological reason, because you're not clear on what to do, and because you're not seeing a big pictures. You see all this complicated shit here? Like this is literally an easy way to understand this whole thing that I'm going to refer back several times, but it's still complicated compared to, meaning like this is only one thing that we're looking at today. This is just the tracking, right? So when you say my diet failed, my tracking failed, I counted calories, didn't work, I do it intuitively and it didn't work. It's not the method, you're just not doing it correctly. Like it just takes like that amount of like detail to learn a skill, right? And therefore, going back to our apps here, there is no way for an app to be able to accurately track the output but you're going to be able to track more efficiently the input, meaning like whatever you eat, chances are you're going to get closer. But again, if you have 500 calories of a deficit you need to establish and 200, you mismatch because you do less than what you're supposed to do. And then 100, you mismatch because you think you're burning more and you're burning less. It's easily, that you kind of like getting to a point that you're not really burning anything, like you're not seeing the results. Login meals, valuable reports, and again, this is all nice stuff. All these usually are start for free and then get to a paid version. They do with a bunch, like they do connect with a bunch of things. So it's actually interesting. Polar, they do. I would need to connect my Polar and see what they do. It's available for Mac and I guess Android as well, so that's good. I've used it. It's kind of like user-friendly a little bit. It's more user-friendly than my MyFitnessPal in a way, but my MyFitnessPal, which I'm assuming this one can do it as well, so I'm not saying like one or the other, but my MyFitnessPal, a lot of people like, and also lose it, like to take the scan with the phone and then scan the labels and all that stuff. So, I mean, in one way, you have MyFitnessPal, and again, it's the biggest one for sure. Learn what works. Again, they do all the time follow up with a bunch of things. They do connect with a bunch of things. They give you they give you to take a quiz to establish this. Again, I wouldn't do that. It's not that simple to understand, establish my calorie deficit. And then I show you what Lose It does. Like I used to lose that all the time. As you see, it tracks the long-term weight. One thing that my MyFitnessPal at the time, which now I don't have a account at the moment, like I'm using it. I don't really use any of this. I haven't tracked food for a while actually, but I want to go back to when I used to track food, 2020 or 2019. Yeah, I guess it was before even. I haven't tracked food for like ages for myself. And as you see here, the thing that I like about this, when you put here and you put bread, because it's from Mac, it'll find the bread already. You don't need to like, type it until the end. Like you're just gonna find it already, right? You need to be careful because some of them they have indeed wrong data in there. So the thing about Lose it does have wrong data. I have experience in myself. MyFitnessPal, I'm not sure. But one thing that I do like about that is that you get a whole, breakdown when it comes to your macro, but it also give you the percentages. So that's actually pretty good if you're one of those that does carb cycling. Unfortunately, it doesn't connect with our app for the program, but you can still, as you see here, you can still do a bunch of stuff. All of them, they have insights, they have community. Obviously, you need to pay the version for that, the goals, and again, the home. Again, the biggest thing with all these things is that they will give you a rough breakdown, and again, you need to be able to use this for getting something that results or to understanding what are you really doing. In my opinion, it's more so like, what am I really eating? Am I really eating 2,000 calories? Let's track for a week. Let's see what happens. Or if you're a person really likes to track, you can still have that and you track it for for a long time, and then you revert back to intuitive eating, right? And again, in the masterclass, we would talk about that. We would learn that, and we definitely learn everything else in all the masterclasses. I don't see anything coming in, so it sounds like there is nobody that needs help, or is maybe people which are too busy or too shy to come in. This you can just, I see Davida, I see Astrid here, I see Gula. If you Davida, if you want to come in, you just click on the Zoom. But I'm actually jumping out in a second, so I guess it's something that you want to be doing next time, and you want to be doing it right away. I will reach out personally to everybody in our client base to know and see how they're doing. The picture is much more harder than just do a calorie app tracking, but today I just wanted to review briefly and give you my take on it. So again, why should you use this thing? Is like when you start a nutrition or a diet, or when you're starting a cut, to understand whether or not you're doing the thing that you feel you're doing. You want to be using when you have an intervention anywhere from 1 to 10 kilos to actually lose this, to make sure that you actually lose, and if you like to do calorie tracking. And then you want to be using to basically move out from it, in a sense, like sometimes you whatever strategy you're utilizing, whether it's a meal plan, whether it's recipe, whether it's just, you know, going to understand what food I'm going to be eating, you want to be going and really tracking those things for a while to make sure that those are the things that you are planning to eat. You want to be planning those things, and then you want to be playing out. It really would be useful if you guys come in, you know, next time, and it's like, whenever there is something like that, you can apply it to your own situation. And I know that there is people, especially the one that are not in the program, that are in the group, that you need help. Like I just put down a broadcast today, and there is a bunch of people, you know, they say, I don't know how to eat. I don't know what to eat. I just need to make sure I'm doing the right thing. This is kind of like those things that you want to be taking advantage of are free for everybody. These office hours, come in, because it's like, I can give you at least direction. If you're not ready to go into coaching, I can actually at least give you direction to what to do. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of do it yourself, is because, you know, compared to the people in the program, you know, we need to make a distinction with that. But aside from that, obviously, it's not difficult. You know, it's much easier than watch a video and now you're going to go and say, oh, I'm going to try my fitness pal now. Let's try my fitness pal. Well, what's going to happen when you don't know if you track incorrectly? What's going to happen when you do lose the 5 kilo and now your body's fighting back? What's going to happen when you don't know the root cause? What's going to happen when you feel like there is a root cause, but instead it's just, you know, there is a real metabolic issue, right? What's going to happen when you really are in a good pathway, you're getting results, but you don't feel like you're getting results? It's just like one tool in the box tool. Like it's one toolbox in the whole picture. And unfortunately, it's not as easy as saying that. But again, if you want my take on which one is the better, neither is best. The one I like the most is probably Lose It, user-friendly speaking. The one that is better because it's going to work with pretty much everything is MyFitnessPal. They're also the biggest thing. All of them, they have YouTube support. So you're probably going to, if you go to YouTube and you look at my MyFitnessPal, or you go to, you know, Lose It, or all those things, they have very useful guides you can learn from, and it's going to teach you probably how to track. Remember, they want you to track correctly, so they're likely going to teach you how to track. But hopefully this can give us some interest and some value, because one thing I definitely saw in there, and I want to see what they say in MyFitnessPal, and I want then I'm logging out. Let's see what does MyFitnessPal say, and I'm really curious about this. Let's see if they have a video, or maybe they don't even have a video. Today's story, start today. Okay, let's see what continue, right? This is how you start it. They make it easy to start, right? I was hoping to find a video like the other one, but I don't. So they are very smart too, because they don't want to come with unrealistic claims like the other one did, because they say, oh, no false data is in there. In a way, they're right. There is no false data in there, because their database are going to probably have the black banana, the white, the green banana, the yellow banana. You're going to have all of them, and with all the vitamins. So they have no false claim. In a way, they're actually saying the right things. But for sure, that you basically skewing the data based on what the user wants, because the user track food to lose weight. And if you don't track it correctly, for a skill perspective, you're not gonna get the scale to go down from a skill to the scale. You're not gonna get that to happen. It doesn't matter how much perfect data you have in a thing. Therefore, my take on it, take the one that you like the best. How to use it, always underestimate what you're eating, meaning like if you're getting a big banana, overestimate what you eat. So therefore, like if you're getting like a regular banana, track a big banana, you're going to have a cushion of calorie that you're going to do. Remember that the likelihood of you getting the food right is a lot higher than getting the output right, meaning like your exercise. So I wouldn't even track it, or I would track it. And again, you want to, in this case, underestimate. If you do an hour of walking, you probably want to put 40 minutes. If you do high intensity interval training for 20 minutes, you want to put it for 10. You always want to underestimate, because it gives you a bigger cushion of calories. So if you do that, you know that you're never underestimating your calorie, overestimating, because whether you're tracking or not tracking, and this goes by anything, one of the biggest things that we see bar none everywhere is that people will tend to overestimate underestimate their intake by 30%. 30% is likely never a calorie deficit you're gonna go for. You always go by maximum 10 to 20%. Therefore, there is other ways. I can promise you, I just showed Dory before, when there is this masterclass, take it, because I'm gonna make it accessible for everybody. But I'm telling you, these things changes life. Like I just spoke with Dory before, and she's like, it's very life-changing information. It's like how to make something hard very easy. In 2 hours or less, you're walking away with a blueprint of what to do, meaning like understanding what happens, right? If you're a client of us, there will be a small offer at the end. If you're a client of us, you get all that already. If you're not, if you're in the group, it's going to be well worth your time. And you will understand probably in an hour or two, probably more than you learned in the past couple of years when it comes to, because I was actually talking to her before too, is like, who should you follow? Like, even if you want to be like improve as a coach, who do you follow online? Not much going on for ladies over 40. Like a bunch of like either very skilled, very detailed in science stuff, and then you don't get to understand them because it's hard to understand them for me, imagine for a client. And then, or very basic calorie in, calorie out shit, which is basically like, if you're an athlete, it works. If you're not an athlete, it doesn't work, because they don't talk about menopause. They don't talk about alcohol. They don't talk about, the stress factor, right? There is always this stress factor that if it's like a hand. When it's like this, stress is released. You need to do all these things. It's like, drinking more water, more protein, all these things. When it gets released, you're actually losing weight. When it gets shut down, you don't. And it's not as simple as saying eat more calories. No, it's a lot more in depth. And until today, I realized myself that it's not easy to explain. And we needed to go into much more depth into that. Keep voting the masterclass. I'm going to probably give it another few days, and then I'm going to choose one. I'm going to go and build that one, because in fact is what the market wants, not what I want. And then the second one, they will go consequentially. And then I'm going to come up with more things. It's a way for a lot of people to get to know us as well. So if you have people as well that you can, I always say it, invite them into the group and take the challenges. And there is one post coming out tomorrow is Tuesday, so it's Wednesday, which is going to be the next mini challenges for free, which is a eating more protein challenge. Okay. One thing that changes life, and this is the last thing I'm going to show you in the preview. One thing that changes lives is people understanding that it's not about everybody wants to go with the diet. Okay. Give me the diet that I need to do, right? They never look at the big picture. The big picture is like, what are the big rocks that I need to do, right? Like eating more protein. This is just a few, not the whole thing. Drinking more water, strength training, cardio training, sleep more, move more, training, sleep more, move more, stress less, right? And of course, calorie deficit, right? And all the challenges that we created pretty much, and you can go refer back into our group, and you can look at all the challenges. I created because it's not just for me to do something, not just to give some money away to the winner. No, I created because I need you, whether you're a client or not, to understand that big results come from small little things that you do every day. So if you can walk for a week, don't do the challenge for a week and then stop. Keep walking. If you can eat more protein, and 90% of people need more protein, right? 10% need less because they're inflaming them. But then if you don't do that, and this comes out with all the time, with mostly with vegans or vegetarian, it comes out to that, or people that fast. If you don't do that, and then you come up and tell me, I developing emotional eating and I'm developing the cravings, you need to fix that first. There is no amount of dieting that we can go into, right? But how do you do that if you don't understand the context, right? How do you do that if you understand that these mini challenges are meant to create an habit, but you need to maintain the habit? And mostly, how do you understand that if you think it's so simple? It cannot be that simple, losing 10 to 20 kilo, only that it is. Over time, you're going to see changes. If you don't see changes, there is a mismatch between your big rocks and this thing in the middle, which is the way that you kind of understand how to track food. I mean, this is like your weight, your measurements improving, your biofeedback, you're getting stronger. There is a mismatch with this, and the root cause of something, and the root cause, which are more prevalent, and the metabolic issue. There is a mismatch. There is no way around it. There is only a mismatch. You don't need to go and take more testing. You don't need to go to the doctor and figure so many shit out. You don't need to go in and say, I have unfair genetics. You don't need to feel like there is something really holding you back. No, you just need to get the right support, the right strategy, the right mindset, which is what messes up the most of people, and understand what is the issue. Is it a logistical issue? Is it an issue that your environment is something that you cannot get rid of, like something really heavy that stresses you, like a relationship that shouldn't be there? There is always something, to the little as saying going out on the weekend, going to the restaurant too much, traveling all the time. There is always something. I'm underestimating. I don't account for the oil that I put on the salad. There is always something. And there is usually 1-2% of people that really have metabolic issue, which is funny because we work with ladies over 40 with metabolic issue. But the funny part is that most issues are created for something that is a root cause that you're not fixing. So if you have an ounce of trust of what we do, if you have an ounce of trust of me, of my team, and our ability to give you results, when this thing comes out, get it right away. It's going to come to a 27, 29 bucks initially price. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to keep it like that for a week, and it's going to increase automatically up to 70 something, right? From 29 to 70 something. The second week is going to go to 129, and that's going to be when it goes out on the public as well for a week inside social media. And those are usually the price you're going to see it for in social media. So for all of you that always say, I really would like your coaching, learn something, fix a problem for free. We've done it so many times, and I'm not inclined to, except for what you have already inside this and free challenges and like you're part of the community. And if you're a client of mine, you always get all updates and courses for free as well. But this will go very close. This is some information that a lot of people in the past paid Ks, 1 or 2 Ks for, 2,000, right? And you get it for $26. Don't be foolish to think that I'm not going to raise it. I will have to do that just because I really want to give a huge advantage to those that are in first. We have only 100 spots in Zoom, right? I know that usually mindset calls are never full, but this is not this is something we advertise. So like it's gonna probably be more people than usual, and we only have 90 spots, so or 100 spots in this version of Zoom. So I need to limit it also because it's easy to walk through 100 people, but it's not easy or less than that. But it's never easy to walk to more than that. What comes inside is something really life-changing. You want to walk away with the ability to understand what to do. Yeah. And if you're in the program, you're already doing that all the time. But again, there are concepts which are really new that I just come up and I say, how can I say this differently? Because it's so hard to get them to understand this part sometimes. But hopefully this was some value. Go back and watch it again. Choose whatever, if you like tracking, choose whatever you want to do. Comment down below what you think about tracking. Comment down below if you feel like that's for you, asking any question about tracking. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And of course, there's always going to be a question of depends what you like to do, what you're currently doing, and so forth. But always ask question when you see this video. And again, in the next office hour, come in because we can actually talk about it directly. Coach Jerry here, excited about this week. Get ready for the protein challenge. That's free. It's gonna come up a post. It's gonna come up automatically, I think, on Wednesday, and it's gonna start on Thursday. It's gonna take us 2 weeks. I will refer back to a bunch of things that we shoot last protein challenge. So you're gonna have a bunch of resources. I'm gonna tag you in a bunch of stuff. My objective with this, whether if you're a client of mine or not a client of mine, is not to sell you anything more. Is to give you the ability to build a habit, which is you're gonna need for the rest of your life. And if you do it well on this week or in these 2 weeks, then you can keep it off for the rest of your life. So our objective between us and the coaches is also to be able to teach you how to improve what you're doing. And guess what? To learn that, you need to post. And to post is to benefit. Number one, you're going to learn for free. Number two, you are going to win money because the winner always get anywhere from 25 to 50 bucks. Last few challenges we had, I think Claudia won a few, and then I don't know who won the last one, I don't remember. Right, the last one I think was Claudia because it was a big one. I think, I'm not sure, but or Lamis, I think Lamis, I don't know. But anyway, there's always somebody winning. So isn't it cool to actually get in shape and actually win something for it, right? It's an incentive that I'm willing to give. What else? Let me know how about your life. Let me know how your week going. We're gonna talk all individually to everybody else, and for the rest, if you're in a group, I'm begging you, use the group. Don't just be in here and do like you do with other groups. I just said it multiple times. Otherwise, if you're not in a program and this is not a group for you, you might want to leave, because the algorithm is the algorithm, and I want this video that goes like live for the people that actually need it to be seen. So I want the culture to be high, the people that need it to be seen, and also the people that actually are willing to do some work. But I understand, like, the group is totally free, a part of the community. Therefore, take advantage of it, and we're gonna talk very soon. Take care and have a good evening.